Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is Tuesday. It is 12:15. It's time for Live from Dave's Office, our weekly webcast going through all the news and interesting folks and all the stuff happening at Hamilton Church. Without any further ado, Deja Vu, our pastor, Dave Kettleson.
Hey, welcome, everyone. We're glad that you join us for our webcast. Today, I have a very special guest. Her name is Renita, and I'm not sure, Renita, if you ever met the guy that just introduced us. His name is Hal. Maybe one time I'll let you in on a clue that he does a great job. So, you ever met that guy?
Once or twice.
Yeah.
We've been married almost 6 years now.
I hear. Isn't your anniversary in a few days?
It is. Our anniversary is coming up soon.
That's fantastic. Well, happy anniversary to you both. 6 years. That's great. Now, Renita, you're pretty involved at Hamilton, but tell me a little bit about the beginning of how you got connected with Hamilton.
Well, so so Hal and I joined Hamilton a couple of years ago, right, honey? 2 years ago?
No, it's almost 5 now.
Nuh-uh.
No, nice.
Wow,
It was almost 3 years when we joined Ashley and Robin's life group, and that was 2 years ago.
So you're having fun. That's how time flies.
Okay. Well, I'm a little doubtful on those amount of years, but anyway, I won't say my husband is wrong, but yeah, so this is my second time around being a member of Hamilton. I was a member of Hamilton back in college when Hamilton was new and young, and so 91, I believe, was when I found Hamilton. And for me, Hamilton has always been an accepting, welcoming of anyone. And I know from my work in my everyday life that the college age student is trying to figure out where they belong with God and where they belong with church. And if they want to follow, their parents' path or go off on their own or whatever. So for me, I was searching for a church when I was in college, and I found Hamilton. It was very welcoming and accepting. And so I was a member then, and fast forward lots and lots of years. And Hal and I, we married, and he was not an Adventist originally. And so we searched for a church that we could both make friendships in and start fresh, and a church that we could fit and that needed us. And we're both service oriented. So anyway, Hamilton's suited our needs of allowing us to participate in the different functions and ministries that Hamilton has.
And we're so glad that you chose Hamilton. And if I can say one thing about Renita and Hal, they are very, very active at Hamilton. They don't just sit around and they're not spectators. I would like to ask you, Renita, what are some of the things you're involved with at Hamilton?
I participate in the kitchen quite a bit. You'll see me Sabbath mornings serving coffee. During COVID times now, that's primarily where you'll see me on Sabbath mornings. I will do the potluck when we're allowed to have potluck. So I run potluck when it's not COVID time. And now with the Tuesday night dinners, I have taken on a more active role, leaving work early every Tuesday so that I can be in the kitchen to cook and prepare meals, and then we get out there and serve the meals and to all the cars driving by. And so yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That's been quite a journey, the Tuesday evening meals. And you've been involved, you and Hal, right from the very beginning. Tell me a little bit about the evolution of the Tuesday evening, how it started and where it's at now.
Well, initially, our area was hit at Easter with tornadoes. Tornadoes. I was trying to make sure I said the right catastrophe. So with the tornadoes at Easter, we started serving the community because Hamilton is at ground zero. So all around us, our whole neighborhood, our church was hit as well. Our property severely damaged. So we noticed around us, everybody with no electricity and no power, and a lot of emergency workers coming in and day out. So our church band together and started serving meals. Initially, we would they wouldn't allow us to come as far as into Hamilton. We would converge at like the YMCA parking lot, and we would serve meals from there. And then eventually, when the roads started getting open, we would do it from our parking lot. And we didn't have power yet, but we were grilling burgers, and we were serving not only the people that lived in the communities around us, but also the cable guys and the
volunteers.
Yeah, lots of volunteers coming through. So we did that, I think about 3 weeks, day in and day out, serving meals. And that was awesome. Folks were very appreciative, and the community turned out to support us and to help us with that. And once the need was dying down and people were starting to get back to a little bit of normal, there was a call to, can you please keep going? We appreciated this so much, and you made an impact. We would love to see this continue. So it just sort of grassroots evolved into us serving on Tuesday nights out of our parking lot. Once again, now we're in our kitchen, able to use our facilities and kitchen and stuff. I think we started serving maybe 50 to 75 meals initially, and now we're up to 250 meals every Tuesday night. So I know you like to say 1,000 people a month we're serving.
Yeah. Well, it's so neat to see you and the ladies and the guys that are preparing the meals. And then when we get out there on the front lines and we're serving, we do it 5:30 to 7 now. Tell me some of the experiences you've had and what you've observed during that time.
Well, I have seen any number of, if you want to call it, types of people come through, from the elderly lady that comes through and gets like 13 meals for all the houses that are around her. She feeds her neighbors. We get the single moms that are just needing help, feeding their families. And so this is a blessing that it's one night they don't have to worry about. And then we have the professionals. We talk about the doctor that was on his way to his shift at the hospital and didn't have a chance to grab supper. So he drove through and, grabbed a meal. So, we're there for that. And we have several dads that will come through and grab meals so that on their way home from work, so that their wife doesn't have to cook dinner that night. So that's kind of cool. We have a homeless man that comes regularly. And so we are serving all populations. It's very cool.
Right. We are. And, a lot of people that come through, they're not even there for the meal. As you mentioned, they just give money.
Yeah. We have, there are a few, probably at least once or twice every Tuesday, we have a car drive through, and all they're doing is coming to bring us money. And I caught myself, going, why is that vehicle coming through, for a meal? And, caught myself being a little naughty judging, but they were coming to bring money, which was, very cool.
And if they wanted a meal, we're fine with that too.
Absolutely.
You mentioned the homeless guy. He was actually at church today. His name is Rufus, and occasionally he called me up this week, and I'll do his laundry for him because he sleeps in his car. His little, I don't know what you call it, is a little I'm not sure, it's a little SUV thing. So anyway, nice guy, and he enjoyed the service today. I'll say that. I really appreciated the entire service, and So reaching these kind of people, we're making connections, we're making relationships, and this is what it's all about. Now, tell me a little bit about just kind of something that has happened to you, about Hamilton, some of the things that maybe over the years that keeps you at Hamilton, that you enjoy about Hamilton.
It's interesting because my work here at the university, students, I get all types of students from conservative to liberal, and I am quick when I'm talking to families that are new to College Dale. We are so blessed. We have 30 plus churches in the area, and you have them in different languages. You have them from your conservative to your liberal. I like to say from the little grandma churches to the rock and roll churches. And I happen to go to one more on the end of the rock and roll side of things. And so I tell people that I feel like Hamilton fits a niche for a population. It's come one, come all. It doesn't matter who you are or where you've been, or where you're coming back from. If you're one of us or not, it doesn't matter. And I think it's very important, especially with the work that I do every day, and I see the young people looking for acceptance and just looking for a place to fit in. I love that at Hamilton, anyone fits in, and we're not here to judge. And so when I originally started coming to Hamilton this time around with Hal, I did find myself, thinking, wow, how am I going to fit in? I had come from a very conservative church. And so, but even though I really didn't fit in over there, but that's what I was so trained to be. And so when I came over, I was like, how am I going to fit in? What am I going to do? I've got to serve. I've got to plug in. And I love that we are a church for anyone. And, my husband, Hal, says all the time, Jesus preached to or served the ones that weren't in the churches. He went to the streets. He went to, the beggars and the prostitutes and those kind, what I mean? I mean, all walks of life. Church wasn't just for the people that were perfect and had money and, dressed a certain way and all of that. And that's why I love Hamilton, because we don't care who you are. Just, come love God. And so, yeah.
Well, thank you. So well said. So well said. In fact, I look at Hamilton. As soon as you walk through the door, you can feel safe there. No one's going to judge you. You can come. Honestly, this is a church where come as you are. You can come as you are. And I've seen people come as they are. It looks like they just walked out of got out of bed and walked in. And hey, but they're welcome here. Now, one of the things I know about you and Hal, and that is you are so active in service. What made you both feel that, hey, I just got to be doing something? I can't just be, a spectator. What gave you that initiative?
I'll be honest, Pastor Dave, I have never let grass grow under my feet. It's kind of interesting because I grew up with, my mom was a single parent for most of my childhood, and she always was serving others. And I can remember we always were gathering food and making food boxes and helping others where we barely had food on our table. But yet we were always giving to others, and she stretched every penny to keep us in church school. But my whole mentality was always to give back and to give to people. And, I felt very blessed to go to Forest Lake, on scholarship, because people, helped us. And, and I came to Southern, and I felt very blessed to have my education. Of course, my undergrad is in social work. So social workers, we're about helping people. It's just who I am, and I just can't help it. And it's kind of funny because my mom will say now, "You do too much. You help too much." I'm like, but I learned it from you.
There you go. You had a good example. Well,
Yeah.
I can't say enough good about you both. I mean, you're so active and you're such a blessing to Hamilton. I'm going to ask Hal, do you want to say anything to my guest today, or you have any question for my guest today?
Well, first off, I want to say that you are by far the best looking of the persons on this broadcast today.
Well, thank you,
And
Hal. Oh, you're talking to your wife.
I'm talking to Renita, and she knows my opinion of myself, so that's saying a lot. Now, we've talked a lot about Tuesday nights. I did want to touch on something else. One of the other major outreaches that our church does is a ministry called Sleep in Heavenly Peace, where we build beds for children in the community that don't have them. I know that you are how involved you are with that as well. Can you tell folks what it is that you do with Sleep in Heavenly Peace?
Sure. So Sleep in Heavenly Peace is an organization that provides beds for children that do not have a bed to sleep on at night. And so we, one of our church members wanted to open up a chapter here in Chattanooga, and he came to me because of my social work background and asked me if he started this chapter, would I help him with the social work side of things and do the case management and do the home visits for the families prior to going in and delivering beds. And, you know, my early years of social work, I was in and out of homes and all around the community and downtown Chattanooga and everywhere. I would go everywhere. So it was very, it was exciting for me to get back to my social work roots because now I'm in education and I don't go and do home visits very often. And I don't really have a need to, you know, go to various areas of town. And so, so this has gotten me back to my social work roots. And so typically a couple times a week, I go and do home visits. A lot of times when the parent is putting in an application, they will either not ask for enough, you know, or they, I mean, primarily that's the biggest thing. They don't ask for what they actually need. So we go to the home visits. I go do the home visit to make sure that I know how many children she actually has, how many qualify for beds, and what the ages are and all of that. And it's super common. I mean, I went into a house the other day. She had asked for 2 beds. Ends up, we're going to be taking 6 beds. And the reason is because, you know, she's acquired all these extra children since she put the application in. And so it's a good time for me to eyeball where the space is. Can we fit a bunk bed? Do we have to do this or that? And make sure that they get the room cleaned up before we get there so that we can fit the beds in there. But it's really cool. Ministry. I truly believe it's a ministry, and it's been so exciting from my perspective. I've been on the building side, you know, helping build the beds, and I've been able to get my students here at the university involved in building the beds. And then of course I do the home visits, and then of course delivering the beds, and that, yeah, it's a really cool ministry.
That is, you know, and being able to be a part of almost every avenue of that. I've been a part of building, and I did go one time and delivered the beds. That to me, seeing the smiles on the kids' faces, and what a cool thing. Well, Renita, I tell you, we are so appreciative of you and all that you do at Hamilton. And is there anything else you want to share with our viewers? Anything you'd like to tell them?
Probably the only other thing is, I think it's important that each of us looks at how we can contribute to our surroundings, to our community, to our society. Look around. A lot of folks, you know, I'll have people say, how do you do it all? Why do you do it all? And how do you do it all? And it's like, I'm not the super person. It's who I am, but everybody can help. Everybody can give back. And I firmly believe that we're supposed to. As Christians, as God's children, we're supposed to look out for each other. We're supposed to love each other regardless. It's not my place to judge. It's my place to help and to love. And I would encourage everyone to try to find a place that they can jump in and enjoy giving and that suits them where their talents are. I think everyone has a gift that can be shared, and I encourage folks to find a place to serve.
I love that. I was just reading an article. The happiest people in the world are those who are deeply involved in service. And so, if you want to increase your happiness, the joy in your life, Renita said it well. Get involved in service, and there's nothing better. I want to thank you, Renita. That was one of my favorite interviews. I do want to share with our viewers just a little bit about what's been going on at Hamilton. Today we gave away a car at church.
No, that was last Sabbath.
Yes, it's Sabbath. Thanks. I'm getting Sabbath. Saturday we gave away a car right after the 11 o'clock service at 11:40 to a lady named Kelly, and she's a single mom. And you'll probably be able to see some pictures. If we don't have them up already, you'll be able to see some of those pictures coming up. And so we were really blessed to do that and all the interworking of that. And I talked to the individual that gave the car away. He wants to give another one. So we're hoping to do that again soon. Also, too, I noticed last week that the material was brought in for our roof, and they should be starting that right away, getting up there on the roof, getting our roof repaired. So once that's done, and I've already met with our repair team, we talked about what kind of materials we're going to put in the foyer, in the entryway. Are we going to do carpet squares? Are we going to do a laminate? Are we going to do what? Hardwoods, tile. So if you have an idea, we'd love to hear from you also on that. But we're getting that going. And then everything else can be repaired. The stairwell, everything else, our children's department. So we're getting that on the way. So I'm really excited about that. The other thing is our sign. They have broken ground for that. Hopefully the foundation will be poured very soon. And we are, just so you'll know, that we are seeking donations for that. We're almost there. We're just a little bit away from our total goal, so not far from that if you'd like to contribute. We have our devotionals every Monday through Thursday from 8 o'clock till about 8:10, just 10 minutes. We're going through the book of Ephesians. Of course, on Tuesdays, like we are now, every Tuesday we do our webcast. We were calling them podcasts, but they're actually a webcast. So we have guests like Renita, and we're very pleased to have individuals. If you think of an individual you'd like us to interview, you're welcome to share that with us. And of course, Tuesday nights, tonight, feeding the community again. So come out and join us tonight for our Tuesday evening meal. I'll be sure and let you know. Hey, what are we serving tonight, Hal?
It is hamburgers tonight.
Hamburgers.
I think and Renita is more involved with the menu, I think, than I am. But are we doing tater tots with the hamburgers tonight?
I think so. I think we're going to do something a little fancy. I think we're going to do tater tots and then put some cheese. And yeah, I think that's what tonight's going to be.
Awesome. All right. Well, I don't know if I left anything else. We have 3 services, the 10, 11, and 12. The 10 o'clock service is mass required, 11 and 12 recommended. We have a great turnout. Love for you to come and join us. And thank you for being here on our webcast. I want to thank Renita again, too. And just appreciate her and her husband, all that they do. And we thank you for encouraging everyone today, Renita, to get involved in service. Okay, before we go, let's pray together. And I'll wish you well. Father in heaven, thank you so much for your time with us as we just talked a little bit about service and the importance of that. I pray you'll bless our viewers, that they'll take to heart the importance of getting involved, and if it's not at Hamilton, somewhere that they can reach out to the community and make a difference. I want to thank you again for Renita and Hal and what they do, and I just pray you bless every one of our viewers, and we thank you again in Jesus' name. Amen. Hey, thank you for watching today. I hope you have a great week, and may God bless you real good.